Bypassing IP bans with a VPN. Can it be done? Well, yes and no in some senses. Now, we're going to look quickly at exploring the technical reality behind using simple VPNs to circumvent IP restrictions and look at some of their capabilities and limitations. There are some advanced strategies, and we'll touch on them here, for maintaining reliable access. So, what is an IP ban and why does it happen? Of course, an IP ban is an IP address ban, and it's a security measure that blocks your device's IP address from accessing a specific website or online service. The most obvious one is when you're given where your IP address might be blocked from a forum or a bulletin board for saying something, doing something, or just not being liked very much. It's like a digital no entry sign placed specifically for your connection. You won't always see a message. In fact, you rarely see a message if you've had an IP ban. I know when I used to manage my websites, I'd get my IP address blocked automatically, and it would just come up with forbidden or server refuses access or some error message, really. And it was basically my IP address was blocked. It's confusing because you don't get an error message that tells you what's going on. The 403 forbidden is probably the most obvious, common one and self-explanatory, but you'll get access denied sometimes. An explicit block message, quite uncommon, or you'll get connection failures or repeated timeouts and you think you've got a dodgy internet connection or something like that. Now, common triggers for IP bans are things like automated web scraping or data harvesting. If you're trying to use another website's data and you're pinging it for data too often, that's quite often what will happen. If you're operating multiple accounts from one IP, you've got to be especially careful here. If you're using valuable social media accounts or going to buy stuff online from e-commerce, they'll look for people using multiple accounts. So you might have 3 accounts on Foot Locker or something like that, and you're using them all from one IP address to buy that latest pair of Jordan sneakers or whatever. That's going to get you banned. Can get your accounts blocked as well. Extensive login attempts or suspicious patterns, again, if you log in over and over again, using bots and things to try and buy stuff or try and get tickets for a concert. Ticket scalpers will often get banned or blocked and will need to use special software to get past it. Terms of service violations, that's basically being kicked off or somebody kicking you off. Perhaps you're connecting from a country you're not supposed to or something like that. High volume API requests, again, like automated web scraping, when you're just pulling too much of your resources from a website that is perhaps designed for single users and you're making lots of API requests. So, I mean, IP bans are lots of times put in for protection for these websites. So they do it to protect and keep them stable, especially from automated attacks. Can VPNs bypass IP bans? Yeah, sure, they are. I mean, a VPN, a virtual private network, masks your original IP address. So if your IP address is banned and you go to a VPN, you'll have another IP address. They work by routing traffic through secure servers worldwide while encrypting all the data. The one I basically have in my taskbar all the time is NordVPN, and you can see I've got servers in all sorts of countries I can use here. Used to have a nice little map in NordVPN. They seem to have taken that off. But for instance, if you want to connect from United States, there's 21 cities there I can connect to. Every single one of these will have IP address. In fact, if I select Phoenix, there'll be 3 or 4 servers in Phoenix, a few in St. Louis, wherever. So if you click on a different country, you'll have an IP address in a different location. So it will be a different IP address. And an encrypted tunnel as well. So that can be enough. Bypass capabilities, yes, they have. Standard IP blocks and DNS restrictions, your standard VPN will be fine and will usually bypass it. Premium VPNs with dedicated or rotating IP address offer higher success rates for accessing restricted content. But remember, if you're using a VPN, you are still sharing your IP address or connection with lots of other people. So there may be 1,000 people using the same IP address, which could cause a problem on certain websites. Especially e-commerce. I wouldn't use a commercial VPN for buying things on e-commerce sites because there's too many people. You're sharing your IP address with too many people. What you want to do is get a dedicated IP address that only you are using for situations like that, or move to residential proxies, which I'll explain later. Detection challenges. Many websites actively detect and block known VPN IP ranges. So common VPN services can get blocked automatically. The most common to get detected and blocked are free or shared VPN services, which are generally pretty useless because they have hundreds of thousands of people using them and they're all on blacklists and logs. So generally can't get past an IP ban because all the IP addresses they've got are already banned. So you're jumping from one ban to another, if you like. The best use cases for VPNs are streaming geo-restricted content, privacy, and of course the encryption layer that keeps your personal accounts safe. For using public Wi-Fi security, a common VPN with a shared IP address is less reliable for commercial web scraping, automated bot operations, high volume data extraction, or professional automation tasks. You're probably better looking at specialized proxy servers or proxy services for these situations. But VPNs are great for protecting day-to-day browsing and keeping your data secure, your commercial accounts secure, and for bypassing the odd IP ban, certainly. So limitation and advanced techniques. So lots of websites have now gone beyond IP tracking, so they employ sophisticated device fingerprinting. Now, sites like NordVPN has got obfuscated servers, which can help with this, but some modern websites are actually analyze browser configurations, looking at the cookies, installed fonts, screen resolution, seeing if they match cookies, and even MAC addresses. Most VPNs won't be able to circumvent this sort of IP ban. There are advanced solutions. You can use anti-detect browsers like multi-login here. This is multi-login. They are very sophisticated and they can create unique digital fingerprints for each session. So you can have 5 completely different sessions all connected. Remember, you still need to change your IP address, but multi-login has residential proxies built in. So basically a residential proxy is a proxy that uses a residential IP address. Residential IP addresses are those used by ordinary users, rather than the commercial IP address or data center IP address that most common VPNs use, including NordVPN. So some sites will block those automatically. So, I mean, if you're really looking to keep yourself well under the radar, or you're doing like ticket scalping or buying sneakers and buying loads of copies and selling them on eBay and stuff like that, you'll need something like multi-login and rotating proxies. VPN blocks exist. They do block. Some sites can block VPNs, just VPNs. You're normally talking government, corporate networks, and major platforms which can try and block VPN traffic. The easiest way is server IP blacklisting, but a decent VPN will usually get past that by rotating its IP address and stuff like that. Port blocking will stop a VPN, but you can use NordVPN, for instance, has an obfuscation setting servers which hide the VPN traffic, and they change ports. I used to use a VPN called Identity Cloaker, which was particularly good at hiding its traffic there. Unfortunately, I think it's closing down this year, so you can't use that anymore. But it disguises the VPN traffic and uses things like HTTPS ports, so it's harder to detect and block. Lots of VPNs use different protocols, OpenVPN, NordLynx, ShadowSox, and other encrypted proxy protocols, which will help evade sophisticated VPN detection systems. And routing your VPN through multiple servers, you can do this in NordVPN as well. If you select, there's the obfuscated servers or double VPN servers, or you can even use onion routing over VPN as well, which will hop your connection over other VPN servers, and that's again harder to block. So key takeaways and best practices: if you're trying to get past a very basic IP ban, like you've been blocked on a forum and stuff like that, just use a commercial VPN. They'll be fine. Click on a country that suits your browsing, and you'll have a different IP address, and you should be able to access, possibly. Well, you should be really for most sort of forum blocks and website blocks. You should layer your security approach. You can combine VPNs with different techniques like multi-login and use residential proxies as well. You can change your MAC addresses, clear your browser cache and cookies, which are a giveaway for a lot of sites. They're really easy to detect. And as I said, anti-detect browsers like multi-login are a higher level of protection than a big standard VPN. Stay away from VPN services. If you get blocked, your IP address gets blocked, and you go onto a free VPN, they're all blacklisted. They're all blocked anyway. They won't help your situation at all. And the software, the client-side software you use, is nearly always installing sort of malware and adware on your computer. So be careful with that, really. Just stay away from it. It's not worth it. And of course, behave yourself online. Respect the term of service. Keep your language good and proper. And read, if you're using forums or bulletin boards or stuff like that, just have a quick scan of what you're allowed to do and say on it, really. And you shouldn't really get triggered with security measures very often unless you're doing something commercial and using bots and stuff like that. Again, it's kind of a different scenario. So commercial and sensitive operations, you've got to look at business automation. I'm talking about business automation, data collection and commercial processes. You have to go beyond basic VPNs. It's not enough. NordVPN only costs a couple of bucks a month. It's not designed to run a big commercial business automation process on it. It can bypass a few IP bans, certainly, and personal stuff it's fine for, but if you're running hundreds of connections, no, not really. You need to look at proxy services, anti-detect browsers like multi-login, and rotating IP pools. Some of the proxy services will rotate through thousands of different IP addresses automatically without you having to do a thing. Okay, again, my VPN's gone a bit. My video's gone a bit longer than I thought. I hope this has helped somebody as a bit of an introduction, a bit of a whirlwind, but thanks for watching anyway. Bye for now.